leave home, get uncomfortable, get left behind, right? A LinkedIn post making its rounds, a black engineer from Maryland shares that he almost didn't take his Microsoft internship in Seattle because he didn't want to leave home. I didn't want to be the only black person in the room and was comfortable where he was. He went anyway, and his point in Seattle, in the Pacific Northwest tech corridor, you are surrounded by people in tech. It's not a niche world, it's the default. He's saying the exposure, the network, and the career acceleration he got would have happened if he stayed comfortable. The question here is, there's a few questions actually. Is staying comfortable versus knowing what you want for your life the same thing? Breaking up barriers, whatever you want to call it, whatever that means. And also LinkedIn theater stuff. People get on there and cap, man. So a lot of it's just. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know, bro. I feel like I don't necessarily know. Well, I don't know. I feel like because now I think maybe that advice would have been a bit more rigid and kind of like applicable like some years ago, like 5, 10, 15 years ago. But I think now like this is just one of the most dynamic kind of like landscapes, especially in the tech space, right? Like that we've seen ever in, large part to kind of like this AI revolution that we're kind of going through. But I don't know. I wouldn't say because I think that especially with Microsoft, like Microsoft is very like it's a very like kind of like flexible and
Yeah,
supportive company. And the fact that it's like it's a global company, right? Like obviously we're
locations
headquartered in
everywhere.
yeah, like I said, we're headquartered in Redmond, Washington, but we have people that work everywhere in every continent,
Mm,
in every country, right? Everywhere across the globe. Obviously for this, like being a new grad, someone who's fresh out of college and like kind of like having that, decision like, hey, staying home and or going out to like I said, I think that me and you are pretty good parallels to kind of like those two decisions. And it's like I think it definitely has its benefits with, kind of like having that those kind of like in-person interactions that you just can't really replicate elsewhere. And obviously there is a level of comfort I think that comes with like staying at home and staying in the place that you're used to. However, I wouldn't necessarily attribute like moving out to a place that you're uncomfortable with, like directly tie that to like a quicker kind of like career advancement path or like a quicker like like because I feel like and I feel like that's very specific to team, to company, to industry as well because I've seen people that stayed in their cities and stayed in their areas and have moved up the chain just as quickly as someone who moved across the country to work at a company. So it's like I think that's very team, industry, company, and or like just very specific. Like I said, I mean, like two things can be like two things can be true at once, right? Like leaving your comfort zone is, like is something it is oftentimes like where a lot of like the real growth happens. And it is also kind of like, something to also consider. Like, just some of these cities, there usually isn't a high concentration of people that look like us. So it's like both of those things can be true at once. But I think that I think more importantly than anything is it's the quality and output of your work that I think that really moves the needle for a lot of this stuff. I mean, I've seen both sides of it, bro. I've seen people that have moved out across the country, left everything behind to go to to their companies. I've seen people that went out there, stayed for a bit, made their mark, came back. I've seen people that have stayed out here for the whole time. So I've seen kind of like every one of these kind of like options play out, and from what I've seen so far, like it doesn't seem like any one option is better than the other. Or, it's just like I think that, your path is your path. And I don't think that anyone is in position to say like going here and making this decision will change your life in this way because, everyone's different. Everyone has a different path. Everyone has a different circumstances as well, right? So I mean, I think that as long as you're doing what you feel is right for you, whether you're comfortable or not, um, you know, that's just how you kind of gotta play it and figure it out from there.